The Florida State football team is officially back here in Tallahassee. Welcome inside Doak Seminole fans alongside Ryan Pensy. I'm Scott Kodak. Man, it's great to be back. We're off the road finally. A gorgeous afternoon for football. 5:30 kick. Nothing better to do in Tallahassee on Saturday afternoon than play football, of course.
I know you're right, Scott, and it's a good thing. It's exactly what the doctor ordered. Florida State, after 2 road games and the unfortunate loss last week to NC State, comes back home to face Boston College, and let's not forget it's a pivotal ACC Atlantic Division game. Florida State cannot afford to lose another Atlantic Division game if they want to get back to Charlotte.
The big guy standing in their way, though, is quarterback Chase Reddick. Boston College, yes, they haven't had a win in the ACC, but Reddick can throw the ball. The top 5 in the nation in passing efficiency. The Noles go to sleep on this guy. He can burn them deep.
Yeah, when you're talking about a quarterback that averages over 300 yards per game, you can't take anything for granted facing a quarterback of that caliber. And I think that's the biggest key to this football game for me, Scott, is how will Florida State come out after the loss to NC State? You don't want to give Boston College any room to think that they can come in here and pull the upset. And to do that, you need to come out with intense defense right from the start, and probably you need to come out and hit them with a big play early on.
Yeah, the Noles have been at their best when they've gotten off to a fast start. And you look at a team like Boston College, they've really struggled defending the run, especially. Correct me if I'm wrong, more than 200 yards per game they've given up on the ground. So the Seminoles, again, it's almost like a broken record every week, but if they can just run the ball, this should be an easy win.
Well, it should be, and I'd like to see some variety. Last week we saw Chris Thompson again go off for a big game. Players like Devontae Freeman and James Waddle, Lonnie Pryor can certainly help in wearing down a defense late in a football game. It'll be interesting to see how quickly Jimbo Fisher tries to get a lot of those different guys into the mix.
I think the one thing we know, Ryan, after both you and I have talked to the players and the coaches this week, they're over last week. They put that loss behind them. Let's talk about the things Florida State needs to do. Just come out and play the brand of football we know they can play. Because last week, I think we would both agree, it was an aberration. It wasn't something we all expected. I think we're going to see the real Florida State this week.
Well, last week in the first half, Florida State gets off to a nice start, 16-0 going into half, but unfortunately offensively they couldn't get anything going in the second half. I think today, from some of the comments at least that we've heard from Coach Fisher, this team wants to go out. They want to strike first. They want to strike often in this football game, and I think that's a big key. You can put Boston College away early if you can come out and get a couple of quick touchdown strikes, but again, if you're not playing sound defense, Chase Reddick has some weapons out there that he can burn you. You don't want Boston College in the game in the second half.
I think the biggest thing, Ryan, EJ Manuel needs to get into a rhythm. We saw last week there were maybe some miscommunications with some receivers, maybe some overthrows. If EJ plays the way he can, Florida State should have no problems today. Defensively, I think you're right. Then also just come out and stop Andre Williams, that outstanding running back, control Chase Reddick. You're not going to stop him, obviously, but you can just control him. Knowles should have no problems with the Eagles today.
Yeah, the one thing that you heard this week is Boston College felt like they were being disrespected because nobody was talking about the Eagles. I don't think it was disrespect. It was just that the media was asking a lot of questions about the NC State loss. I'm not taking anything away from BC, but again, this is a team that's 1-4. They lost to a team who had not beaten anybody before last week in Army. I think Florida State comes out and has a big win tonight.
5:30 p.m. kickoff inside here at Doak Campbell Stadium. You're home for everything for today's game. Seminoles.com/Gameday, our Game Day Central page. All the information from the IMG Sports Network crew, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it, we've got it here on Seminoles.com. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you after the game.